Hi there! ACX's royalty share scheme. Is it a good deal for audiobook narrators? Watch this video and you'll find out. And stick with me to the end of this video because I'll also be telling you how much you should charge for your skills. Okay, before that, here's a bit of background information for you. ACX stands for Audiobook Creation Exchange. It is the audiobook production arm of Audible, currently the largest online sales platform for audiobooks. In turn, Audible is part of the Amazon empire. So, is ACX's royalty share a good deal? Well, as for most things in life, the answer is no. And yes. Keep watching because I'm about to explain. And by the way, as you watch, remember to click that like button if you're finding this video useful or entertaining or informative or all three. Now, let's go back a step. When it comes to getting paid when you complete an audiobook through ACX, there are three options. 1. Pay for production. With this, when you've completed your audiobook project, the rights holder, usually the author or a publisher, will pay you a pre-agreed fee for the whole job, and that's it. You won't earn any more for that project. It's done and dusted. Some narrators think that this is the way to go because it's a guaranteed amount of money that they'll receive as soon as the project is finished. So at least they have been compensated for their time, effort and expertise. Number 2, royalty share. So this is where you don't get paid a production fee. Instead, you'll get a share of the sales proceeds every month for 7 years. You'll share an equal amount of royalties with the rights holder, but you'll only start earning once the audiobook starts selling. The risk here is if the audiobook doesn't sell well, or God forbid doesn't sell at all, you may never get properly rewarded for your time, effort and skills. 3. Royalty Share Plus. This option sort of combines the other two. You'll negotiate with the rights holder to receive a reduced production fee from what you would normally charge, and then you will go on to receive the same share of ongoing royalties, shared with the rights holder 50-50, as with royalty share. So you're more likely to get a proper return for your time and effort, but not immediately. Okay, so let's analyse this a little more closely. The royalty share option without the plus element is the riskiest for the narrator. The rights holder doesn't have any risk to carry because if the audiobook doesn't sell even a single copy, they haven't lost anything other than maybe a little bit of time dealing with the auditioning process. But the narrator is paid nothing until the audiobook sells. And the sales may be very low, meaning the money will arrive in tiny little instalments over a long period. With pay for production, the narrator ensures that they get paid for what they do, so surely it's a no-brainer. But if the audiobook sells really well, they might regret taking that option because they will have missed out on perhaps significant royalties paid over that 7-year period. What if the book turns out to be as popular as the Harry Potter books? If it starts selling hundreds and then hundreds of thousands of copies, then you'll be berating yourself, kicking yourself, throttling yourself that you didn't go for the royalty share option. With royalty share plus, you'll get paid, although not as much as you would normally expect with pay for production. But all being well, you can make that up over time with a share of the royalties. And if the book turns out to be a top seller, you can cash in. And so, of course, can the rights holder. So, if you're going to get some royalties, how much will they amount to? Well, with ACX, so that's Audible, you will share the royalties with the rights holder on a 50-50 basis. But because Audible keeps 60% of the sales price, you will be sharing 40% of the sale price with your rights holder, meaning that if your audiobook sells for £20, you'll earn £4 for each copy sold, just 20% of the sale price. So you'll get a half share of the remaining 40% after Audible has taken its 60%. Now you may be thinking royalty share is not such a good deal. But that's not necessarily the case, because it does depend on circumstances. If you're a new narrator eager to get a track record, it may well be worth a punt on a royalty share deal. It's risky, as I've said, but it does give you a hopefully not too small regular passive income for 7 years. And if the rights holder promotes the book effectively, something you could help with if you have a social media presence, you might find that sales pick up over time. Get a few good reviews too, and that will also help. So when you are looking at auditioning to narrate a book, how can you decide whether the royalty share arrangement, if that's what's being offered, will work for you or not? Well, it all depends on the author's past sales record. There are some quite technical ways of finding out the sales figures for the print and ebook versions on Amazon using tools which I don't intend to go into here. And in any case, you don't need to go in that deep to get a reasonably accurate impression of sales quantities. Instead, look at the number of reviews a book has received on Amazon. Take account, of course, when it was released, because if it was only last week, then it is unlikely to have many, if any, reviews yet. But take notice of earlier books from the author as well that have been around for longer. Remember that about 1 to 5% of readers will leave a review. Maybe 5 to 10% will leave a rating, that's a score out of 5 with no comments. So doing the maths, that will give you an idea of how well or not a book is selling. Then take into account that an audiobook will sell less than a normal book, sell usually about 1 to 5% of the number of book versions. So that will give you an idea to work on. Of course, if the author is new and the audiobook you are auditioning for is their first book, then you have to assume the sales figures are likely to be at best unknown, but probably not that good, unless you have managed to latch onto a new writing superstar. So, to summarise, if you're a new narrator, keen to get on the ladder and build a track record, go for royalty share deal if that's what is on offer for the title you're chasing, and get yourself on the radar. If you've already got a bit of a track record, say 5 audiobooks or more, then think about negotiating a royalty share plus arrangement, which will give you an initial immediate payment on completion and then an ongoing passive income from there based on sales. And if you were offered a pay per production arrangement, then probably go for it depending on the agreed fee, but if you sense that the book is going to be a blockbuster, suggest a royalty share plus deal. What's in it for the author? Well, if they like your audition performance, they might just think it is worth shelling out a pay-for-production fee as well as giving up some royalties. And if you do go for a pay-for-production arrangement without the royalty share, make sure that you are charging enough for each finished hour of content, which is the usual currency used for audiobook production. A typical charge per finished hour is around £200 or $250, bearing in mind that a finished hour may take you up to 8 hours to produce, so that's around £25 per hour of your time or $30. Many experienced narrators with a good track record will charge more than that. If you are negotiating a royalty share plus deal, you may have to charge around half your normal rate. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about ACX's royalty share in the comments below. Don't be shy, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them, as I will answer them all. So, have you liked this video? Have you subscribed to this channel? Please do so. It's entirely free and always will be. So, bye for now, and see me again soon.